Okay, happy Monday. Hope everybody is doing well. And this topic is very timely. Try to include at the end of this live session, see if I can add an image or a photo. I just got back from an entire race weekend. My children, and this is the concept is uh, uh, the concept of what I'm doing in my Masogi here, or like my daily videos, my Masogi being a daily sharing of the balance of being an entrepreneur, a dad, all the things that go into running a business, is I have children that are competitive athletes of very expensive sports. My daughter, competitive downhill racer, and also a competitive dancer. My son, a competitive downhill racer, and a competitive slalom skier, water skier. And so my car is basically the ultimate Uber. I am driving everywhere, hundreds of thousands of kilometers over the last couple of years, driving to tournaments and practice and so forth. So the question that came in is, how do you balance competitive children also with a competitive business? What are the similarities? And I actually think what I would do is frame that in what have I learned is one of the most important things to teach first yourself. You have to teach yourself something so that you can then turn around and teach it to others. And I'm in year or season 16 as an entrepreneur. And so I have been through the emotional roller coaster of the great highs, the great lows, and the similarities is that number one, you definitely learn more from losing than you do from winning. I said that to my son yesterday. His Sunday or his Saturday race, he cracked the top 50. Amazing. He was looking at qualifying at this national level. And then on Sunday, he didn't have the race he needed and he fell below that 50 mark. And then my daughter, as I'm going to share in this photo, she came second for her region. So she's riding on an emotional high. He's sitting there on an emotional low. The thing to focus in on is I'm trying to remember the exact quote, but it was from, I think, Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld said what gave him sustainability in the market is you're going to have these dopamine hits that are so extraordinary, and you're going to have shows get canceled, characters leave, problems on set, financial overruns. Like, these are all the parallels to business, and it will feel like you can barely get out of bed. But every day is you have to remind yourself that it too shall pass, and that you will live another day to fight, and that if you can not oversupply yourself with the high and not overburden yourself with the low and stay even keel and recognize that these things are going to happen around you, but your job is to just focus in on where you're going, and making incremental 1% improvements all the time. That is the parallel between entrepreneurship and competitive sports, and teaching this now to my children. You are going to have races where you feel like a god, like you see it all. And then you're going to have races where your ski blows off on the first turn. It happens. And so what you can control is or you can try to influence and then learn to control, is your emotions. That it too shall pass, that you will wake up tomorrow and you will build upon this. You will learn from those failures or learn from the successes, that it is a moment in time. It is very fleeting. I actually compare it to something that somebody once told me that if you took the NASDAQ or you took the New York Stock Exchange average, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, there is something like, of the 200 and some business days in the year, only 20 of those days, 10% of it, have massive gains, like asymmetric gains in a year. Most of the time is fairly flat or down. But those gain days are so large that it makes up for the delta. And so this actually happens in business. There'll be about 5 to 10 days in a year that will be extraordinary. You'll win $1 million customer. You'll have moved yourself out of a department. You finally move from founder led to team led, you raise capital, you win an award, you sell a division of your business. Those things will be like 5 to 10 days of the whole year. The rest of the time is going to be steady Eddie, or you're going to get called every morning at 8 a.m. with yet another problem that's going to arise. Every single day, you'll be firefighting a problem, and you're going to have the emotional regulation to say, this is every day. I'm going to be able to handle this. Most days are going to be here, or even through probability here. But every once in a while, I'm going to have one of these big, huge peaks. And I'm going to have to teach myself that that's very fleeting, that's very momentary, and then I'm going to be able to get over it. And I'm then going to get back to just focusing on one foot in front of the other. So that's what I would say is the big parallel between competitive children and competitive sports. And what are the similarities? I hope you found this valuable. As you, as a founder, your role and responsibility is no matter what happens that day, is remind yourself, it too shall pass. Whether it's good or bad, it will pass. The average state is going to have to be here because you're going to have here and you're going to have here. But the average day is just going to be cloudy with a 40% chance of showers. Like that is just entrepreneurship. There's going to be days when it's 95 and sunny and beautiful. And there's going to be days when it's 32 and sleeting rain in your face. But you just have to be able to stay right here. Hope all is well.